What's up, guys? It's Frank, and today we've got a player showcase. Today we're going to be talking about GhostTL, someone who we've seen once or twice in other players' replays, but most recently GhostTL has opened up their untapped replays. No, Scout, leave, leave. But most recently, GhostTL opened up their replays to the public on Untapped. So, any of you Vanguard players out there that need to, or that want some replays that aren't of yourself, and you want to watch how other people play the game, GhostTL is an excellent example of how to do it right. And today we're just going to be focusing all on them. Scout immediately being annoying, doesn't get the body block on the shrine, but I think it doesn't matter that much. Doing an excellent job chipping down this Hexen, having already taken the... Uh-oh, here comes Brute. Having already taken the health cabbage, that Scout can get away in the... Yeah, this Hexen's going to be down on some HP before it engages the health camp. If Shenanigans does decide to go for the health camp first, which I think he should. What is this? What is this placement? I don't think I've ever seen a command post placed at the bottom of the ramp before. I like it as part of the whole, like, Sim City. You're building a choke right there. I remember Oriel, watching Oriel games, and he's a Celestial player, and he was actually starting to build walls around his ramps and around the geography of the map as well, but we'll see. Oh, no. There we go. Yep, no, a Brute can win. A Brute wins against the Lancer. No! There you go. Didn't even need all the backup. Anyway, it looks like it's all just Brutes right now. Just a vault. Yeah, we do see a Conclave, actually. I don't know where the, there's the Gaunts. Okay, so Shenanigans starts the health camp, and I think, yeah, this Lancer wants to come by and be annoying, which is rough, because now that means, like, that's a lot of extra damage that, this Infernal player is going to be taking. Just taking 3 shots on the, on his army units. Oh no! Is the Scout going to get away? He is. And with some of the army units focusing on the Vanguard run by to be annoying, there was quite a bit of damage done to these units, but it's okay because they got the health camp and they're going to regenerate just fine. Okay, back to GhostTL's base. Doesn't have much, it's just mining in the main. Whoa, holy charged bobs. That's what, 7? 7 charged bobs going off to build a third. And we've got hogs coming out. I don't know that 7 hogs... I want to say that the diminishing returns stops at 5. Where, like, every bob you add after 5 doesn't actually contribute to the build speed. But, hey, those 2 extra are there. Saves them the walk over to the Luminite patch, so... No worries, in the word of one JXP. This is quite a bit of Infernal here that's going to make their way across the map. And on a triple base Vanguard, this is a fair bit of greed, but is he going to see it? No, he's not. He's going to be fighting these Shadow Demons instead. Now he sees the Infernal hit squad coming by to hit the scrapyard. Decides he wants the vision camp after all. There we go. Now go back and defend. Oh, Ghost. No, Ghost. This is a lot of Infernals. Well, I say a lot of Infernals, but Lances are tanky. Lances are pretty tanky, and they fight a whole lot better when they're fighting shoulder to shoulder. No, you fired at your own Lancer. Oh no, the Hedgehog shot at his own Lancer. So we've got an Imp that got brought along. I wonder if that's meant to be, if that's meant to turn into something. Oh, and now we're starting to see Bobs fall too. No. Okay, if this ends up being a hold, it's going to be an absolute miracle. All right, a Weaver gets caught out on the map. An emergency promote goes down. Yeah, this Weaver can get kited. Oh, takes down the double promoted Hedgehog there, but now, oh no, now the Gaunts are in the main. But the Gaunts are going to get surrounded by all the Bobs. There's not enough energy for a Bob overcharge, so they're all going to be taking as much damage as they normally would. But the Bobs are still pretty tanky, and they do manage to take down all the Gaunts, but at what cost? That's so many mining Bobs gone. Yeah, now it's just a couple of them that are back to mining Therium, but the Natural isn't mining. The third actually is mining quite a bit. And that's a hold. That's a hold. I'm surprised. Color me surprised. I think if Shenanigans would have focused down the production structures over here, because it's just the barracks and the mech bay. I think if those production structures would have gone down, it would have been a GG. Because then they could have focused down any production structures that that GhostTL would have started to build from that point. These are, it just says enemy ooze. It doesn't give stats. Strange. Okay, now it gives stats. But either way, we didn't see any of the tags at the bottom there. That's something else that's a little bit strange to me, is that the creeps, none of them have they don't show the heavy armor, the light armor tags, and I think they should. That would help a lot of players out, knowing, you know, which units are good to send over to that camp and which ones aren't. For instance, the Bruiser and the, what is it, the Skull Squisher, I believe are both heavy armored. Nice little pickup on the, until now, unutilized vision camp. Closer to Shenanigans base, and honestly, I'm surprised Shenanigans didn't get this. This is basically just free resources for him. Oh! Okay, so the whole taking shots from the Hellborn does suck, but it doesn't suck as much as the hits from the Magmadon are, because the Magmadon does anti-heavy damage. There we go, let's see. Plus 20, so it's a total of 50 damage to heavily armored units. So the Lancer frontline isn't going to hold up all that long against a couple of Magmadons, just because they do so much damage. But I think Hedgehogs are a good choice for a couple of reasons. One, they're able to kite just about all the tier 1 units. Yeah, all the tier 1 units that the Infernal player has. And yeah, okay, so the Magmadon does finally fall. But the Hellborn, because they're kind of small-ish units. There we go. Oh, no way did that live. 12 life left on that Hedgehog. Lucky, lucky boy. But yeah, GhostTL has definitely clawed his way back into this game after losing so many Bobs. I honestly thought that was going to be a GG here. But we do see. I don't think we're going to see a proxy shrine for the Luminite, or for the Therium. Excuse me. I don't think we're going to see a Therium shrine. Also, interestingly, the Magmadon hasn't mowed a path through the center to get a faster route over to the Vanguard base, but I think that's kind of a smarter thing to do. Well, right when I say that, I think it would be a better idea to keep those trees not knocked down at this point in the game, just because GhostTL is starting to pull away in supply, and there was quite a bit of supply of army that was taken out. For Shenanigans, so unless Shenanigans can get a really big army that can defend this area, I think taking that middle, or opening up the middle, might be a little bit too rushed, a little unwise, I would say. I love adding these Hellborn to the mix, though. The Hellborn are making sure that, or they're at least mitigating the amount of damage that the Hedgehogs can do, just because the Hedgehogs are used to kiting things, but as long as everything's in range of those Hellborn, the Hellborn are going to be able to do a lot more damage. Oh, they should honestly focus down this Atlas. That Atlas is going to cause all kinds of problems. Oh no, but they decide to stutter instead. Yeah, they do end up doing a lot of damage to the Exos, but this is a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of value in army that's just evaporating here, and that's going to be it. GhostTL is going to take the game. On to the next one. Alright guys, here we are in the next game of the GhostTL showcase. We've already got his, we've got our GLHF as GhostTL Scout is in the main, harassing Bobs, trying not to get caught inside of all the Bobs there. But Vincent Van God, I'm going to call him VVG, is going to do the same thing, be harassing Bobs, but the Bob that he's attacking is getting the heal hug from one of his fellow Bobs, so it's not like a whole lot of damage is going to get done there, but GhostTL going for a super early double racks and a hab, which is fun to see. And Vincent's first racks just finishes up right now, but it looks like, yeah, Ghost wasn't able to body block this natural expand, so he might be a little worried right now. He wasn't able to successfully punish some of this greed, but he is keeping a good eye on it. Yeah, and he's trying to fight against overcharged Bobs. The overcharged Bob's getting an armor bonus of 25. They're already kind of tanky. No, Ghost, don't lose your dog! Okay. The dog lives. He's going to get the cabbage. Good boy. Okay. So, we've already got... What's the saturation here? Just one worker, a couple of habs going down, 3 habs going down. Wow. I guess he's going full bore on getting Bobs out. But that's 2 Lancers that are going to make their way over to... Oh. Setting up a sentry post up here is pretty interesting. Maybe eventually he's going to try and overcome the eco difference by taking the center camp and then just defending it. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so that wasn't a hab, that was a sentry post. 2 sentry posts in the main to defend the Bob seems like a little bit of overkill. That's a lot of resources that could have been used somewhere else. But holy static D. Okay, so I think Ghost knows by this point that this is going to be a very defensive player, and he's got the leeway to take camps. That's actually going to help, you know, lessen the sting of not having a natural up just yet. I don't know that one dog is going to do all that much work against Lancers, which are just super tanky. And it's not going to be doing any bonus damage because they are heavily armored. And the only things that scouts do bonus damage to are light armored and creeps, of which the Lancers are neither. Oh, also putting down a mech bay very far forward. This I really like. We don't see enough proxy production structures out of Vanguard players, or Infernal players for that matter. I know Celestial players, that's kind of the identity of the entire faction, is to build closer to your opponent. But it's nice to see that some players are starting to branch out and try out this style. I imagine this habitat's going to be solar just to crank out hogs a little bit faster. We'll see. Yeah, this is almost like a complete SimCity for the Bobs here, which seems nice from the outside, but I worry that if something does get inside, are the Bobs going to be able to escape? Now, if the Bobs hop into these sentry turrets and then start healing each other, there we go. Okay, so they can get out. But yeah, the sentry turrets are going to be trying to do damage to these Lancers, but there's just so many Lancers, and they're all going to be doing that AoE. They have the AoE swing. No, Bobs, you need to get inside of a turret. Get inside of a turret, and then you can have the repair medic. Whoa, there we go. And I think this Lancer's in pretty deep trouble. He does go down, and that's unfortunate because that was the veteran C3 Lancer. But a lot of these Lancers are still getting a lot of really good connections with the AoE swings on their foe splitter. I think that's what it's called, right? Foe splitter blade. God, what a cool name for a weapon. Okay, and this really just cost him Luminite. It didn't cost him all that much. No, but the Exo inside of the sentry turret's pretty deadly. Exos themselves being a really good anti-heavy infantry unit that comes out of the barracks. No! The bouncing blades from the buzzsaw cannon are something that definitely need to get dealt with. Oh, but now the Vulcans here are going to be doing fantastic anti-light damage. That one poor Bob. Oh, Bob. Poor Bob. But now Vincent Van God is stuck on 30 supply of units in his supply block. So that one's not going to be able to continue to build. This Exo is still building, though. And I don't think that there's much that... Yeah, it's this Vulcan is out of range of the flat cannons, which is great. Another sentry post goes down. I wonder if he's going to try and, like... Is he trying to inch out the Vulcan? I'm not sure. Anyway, these Vulcans are going to continue to do more and more damage as they go on. A machine lab going down in the middle. What am I watching here? And yeah, GhostTL not completely saturated on his natural just yet, but he is He's mining enough. He's got his natural down, and he hasn't spent the same amount of money that Vincent has on static D, so that freed him up to build a lot of units, a lot of really tanky units. And honestly, yeah, throw a Bob inside of this sentry post, and then just use that as a mobile repair turret. Maybe not mobile, but as a nearby repair turret. Another Bob goes down. That Lancer's taking so much damage from this flat cannon, though. Alright, the repair turret goes down. Yeah, now it's just a matter of time. Okay, but Exos in large numbers could present quite a problem for Ghost, but it looks like Vincent hasn't built enough. He's still supply blocked. He hasn't built the habitats that he needs to have a better number of Exos. But yeah, 4 Vulcans worth of DPS on a command post is pretty scary. No! Oh, and he dashes out of there. I don't know how much life was left on that Vulcan, but it wasn't much. Okay, so that's the last modified sentry post that's on the map. Ghost is floating 850 Luminite, and he can just go home and be content knowing that he's not. Well, he doesn't know that that his opponent is supply blocked, but he knows that his opponent spent a lot of resources on all those sentry turrets. There we go. Now you're building. Now you're thinking with portals. But all these sentry turrets are good defensively, I think, if you have a mech-heavy composition. But we haven't seen a mech lab yet, or a mech bay, excuse me, in the main for Vincent just yet. But we do see this sensor drone leaving. But it's not going to see the army. It does see the mech lab in the center, though, but I think it's going to be too little too late. Yeah, this sentry does see all these Lancers. Yeah, once he gets charged, Vincent decides to GG out of the game. Good games, guys. Hey guys, it's Frank with the next game of the GhostTL showcase here, and we've already got Ghost against Mantunet. I believe that's probably a French pronunciation that I butchered. I do apologize. But yeah, VVC here for Ghost, which we haven't seen yet today. And yeah, Ghost puts down a really early expansion, and he wants to get a scout on his opponent really quickly, which does happen. And looks like his scout is going to be attacking the collection array, but that's not going to do a whole lot while our Celestial player is on green power. The building regen is basically able to mitigate all the damage that a scout would do. Just barely doesn't cover it, but enough that, you know, the hundreds and hundreds of HP that these buildings have will be pretty effectively countered by, will be pretty effectively countering the damage that the scout will be doing. So we already see the first couple of Argents coming out, and it's a double creation chamber. One more Argent coming out. It's kind of interesting. And what are we seeing coming out from Ghost? We see Mechbay making a Hedgehog for now. We don't see nearly enough saturation on that main Luminite node just yet, but that's okay. Another Hab goes down. I imagine once we finish getting to tier 2, it's going to be a Solar Hab to get more Hedgehogs out a little bit faster. Maybe another Mechbay. No, not another Mechbay. He just really doesn't want to get supply blocked, but he's pretty far from it for the moment. Will a single Lancer and a Hedgehog be enough to take down this health camp? We'll find out next time on Frank Casts Ghost. I've been rewatching a lot of Dragon Ball recently, so that's why that song is stuck in my head. Yeah, looks like Celestial player Matune, or Matunit. I don't know. That sounds terrible. I'm not gonna say Matunit again. Our red Celestial player is doing just fine with all of his Argents, just chilling on the health camp. But I think he's got enough now that he could stand to be a little bit more active out on the map and getting camps, like Ghost is. This Lancer is hurt a little bit, but I think it's tankier than he realizes. Oh. And that's another reason that I think You know what? I wonder. So he's at tier 2. He's got at least one barracks, and I think something that a lot of people forget is that the medtech is unlocked at tier 2. It does not require the biokinetics lab, the BK lab. So he could be building medtechs right now, and I think that would be the right call, because the medtechs, eventually, you can train them to get nanoswarm, which is fantastic for a mech composition. Granted, you probably don't want to go too heavy on mech, just because Celestial players have the option to get a Cabal, which can debilitate and gravity flux just about everything. So if you have expensive ground army units, or even air units for that matter, gravity flux suddenly becomes pretty scary. We don't have anything yet in the game that deals with affecting a spellcaster's mana or energy that they have. So what they've got is what they've got for the moment. Oh man, all these Argents are going to be doing anti-heavy damage, so they should be focusing down the Lancers, and they do. But these Hedgehogs are not heavily armored, but the Hedgehogs do anti-heavy. They do bonus to heavy, but it's not. Recently, I think it was in 0.2.1, patch 0.2.1, they got their damage more normalized, and that is to say that they still do bonus to heavy, but the bonus isn't as pronounced. They do more flat damage. And I think that was in an effort to make them to make them more versatile against lightly armored units. But I think that because they did that to both the Exo and the Hedgehog, we're still having a bit of an identity crisis in terms of making those units different from one another. This is where I think if the other factions, or even if in general there was more tinkering done with biological versus mechanical, biological and mechanical bonus damage from from various units in the game, I think it would be cool to see that be the way, let that be the differentiator between the two. The Hedgehog, it fires rockets. It makes sense that they would do more, or maybe make it like anti-personnel rockets, where they do bonus against biological, or and have the Exos have an upgrade where, I don't know, they electrically charged rail shots or something like that, so they do bonus versus mechanical. Yeah, just to kind of make them separate a little bit, I think. But anyway, back to this game. GhostTL is starting to pull away a little bit. Wait, are these guys heavily armored? There's no way of telling. I keep forgetting that there's no way of telling. I know this guy has heavy armor. The Bruiser does, with his meaty mitts as the weapon name. Some of the weapon names, by the way, you guys are really, really funny. And I'm also loving that there's this cascade creep, kind of like a cascade highway, that is happening on for our Celestial player here. We don't normally see Celestial players using their link nodes as cascade highways, but this time we are, and it's going to be is it charged? I don't think it was charged, or surged rather. No, it's not surged, so it doesn't have that bonus to the fire rate, but it still shoots pretty quickly, and all these Argents are going to take out a single Lancer, but not before those two link nodes go down. Yeah, those Argents just chilling right by all the power banks are going to get a nice little recharge. But GhostTL has kind of been left to his own devices, and in my ignorance, in my inability to look at the minimap, he's taken 2 more bases. The pocket base is pretty free. These two Bobs need to get back to work. And oh, we're seeing an Atlas being built against a Celestial player, which is interesting. But holy barracks. Okay, so we're going to see a lot more bio coming out here pretty soon. And the eco is definitely ramping up. Meanwhile, a big fight's going down between all these Exos I'm sorry, Exos, all these Hedgehogs. See what I mean? Hedgehogs and Argents. We see some roly-poly Kree out on the map as well as the Vectors. The Vectors not doing any bonus damage to ground units. They only do anti-light damage to air units. And honestly, their range is so short that I think the fact that that Hedgehogs get that first shot opportunity means that I don't know that they will do as good against Hedgehogs as they used to. I know Celestials also got a nerf to the Vector once the recall stopped doing a heal when the Vector recalled. It's a nice little way to make a path out for all of the bio that's going to be getting churned out of those barracks. And yeah, GhostTL is going to come back to the center of the map, kind of patrol around a little bit. This is so many link nodes that are creating Cascade Field, but I don't know what the point of the Cascade, like having Cascade Field that far forward is. You could almost build another arc ship and just have it come forward for the Cascade Field. Oh no, having power banks that far forward and that vulnerable is kind of painful. The Argents are going to stutter step on forward and focus down the Atlas. One Atlas goes down. But man, these Atlases are getting fantastic shots. They were. Alright, there's still one Atlas out on the map. Still deployed though. Yeah, and these Sabers seem like they could do a lot of damage. But oh, the stasis drone goes down on one of them. So now we're just down to one Saber that's still in the fight. GhostTL is down though with not a whole lot of army left over. These Hedgehogs are doing anti-heavy damage, but the numbers, are they enough? Okay. Take it back. Yeah, it looks like they are in high enough numbers. And with enough fights, it looks like they've accrued quite a bit of veterancy. These link nodes are heavy armor. I thought they were lightly armored for some reason. It looks like that's going to be the power banks instead. Matu seems to have thrown down a Purify, but there really isn't anything in terms of defense that could go down there. You know, I wonder if the Purification gets rid of stasis drones that the sentries shoot out. Alright, so another one gone. Yeah, and Matu had so much power to begin with, but I think a lot of that's dried up. With the Vanguard advance here, and every time the power bank goes down, and he's like, Matu's already on yellow power, and he's getting closer and closer to being on red power, which is the worst possible place you want to be as a Celestial player. It impacts so many things. Like, not only does your structures not get the health regen, but like your building times are slowed down, your production times are all slowed down. Being on green power is... I think there are people that would argue that being on green power is the minimum. Like, you can't not be on green power. It's just so bad to be off of green power. Good save on the Vulcan there, dashing to the south. But there's so many Hedgehogs that can deal anti-heavy damage, along with the Exos. There's the GG from Matu. And Ghost is going to pick up another win. Alright guys, we're in the next game here of our GhostTL showcase. It's going to be a VVI, Ghost versus Dr. Carlos. And it looks like Dr. Carlos is already going for a Shrine first, which makes sense. It's a really big map, so expanding is kind of a given. So you have to like remember the scale of some of these things. Like this dog is relatively huge. Compared to, let's say, the Hedgehog. The Hedgehog, if you look at the little cockpit in there, looks like the human is itty-bitty. So, like, by comparison, this dog is probably, like, 6 feet tall. And by that comparison, you know, like, if we're going by Hedgehog scale, like, these buildings are probably, like, 70, 80 feet tall. Can you imagine watching a dog biting like an 80-foot tall building made out of stone? Like, imagine just walking down the street and you see a dog trying to attack a building. I don't know, something about that always cracks me up. Okay, so Dr. Carlos has an Iron Vault on the way behind the Shrine and a Conclave as well. But it looks, oh, interesting. Ghost is building a couple of barracks here to kind of wall off. Now, this is another thing that I'd be interested to get a lot of pro-Vanguard players' opinions on. When you build in this choke, is it better to have a player, like, to have your opponent have to go around some geography as well so that they can't attack? Or is it better to, like, have them filter through the middle so you can have sentry turrets on either side? Or is that something they just don't think about? It's like, hey, I need to put this structure down, and that's where it is. You know, is it just like a reflex thing? I wonder. That's kind of cool. I've never noticed these like little god rays that are shining down on the camp there, on the Luminite camp. That's cool. All right, 2 scouts and ooh man, that Lancer I think is surrounded enough that he won't be able to get out if he tries. More telegraphed attacks are gonna hit just about everything, which is unfortunate. The Lancer, where are you going? Okay, yeah, the scouts need to get out of there. The scouts don't get hit by the telegraphed attacks. I think that's why the speed camp might be my favorite creep camp so far of the ones that we've seen, is that they have something really unique about them, and that's the fact they have a telegraphed attack. I think if Frost Giant wants to make creep camps more interesting, they have to give them, I think everything should have a telegraphed attack or an ability of some sort that, yeah, that makes creep camps more than just like, hey, this is a unit and it'll auto attack your units. If you make them do something unique with each creep camp, I think that'd be really cool. A couple of fiends coming around to steal the speed camp, but I think there we go. Okay, so Infernal took their own health camp, which is nice. They have no way of healing core health. No, there you go. Get the full health one. There's a cabbage. Oh no, they already got the cabbage. Go quick promote on that guy. But yeah, like I was saying, I think having really interesting creep camps is nice, or even creep camps that do bonus damage. Kind of what we were saying earlier about the hedgehog versus the exo. Seeing creep camps that do bonus damage to either mechanical or biological would be really interesting. And maybe they don't give a buff, they're just like random creeps that are out on the map, but they still give resources. I think that'd be really interesting in matchups like this where, you know, the Infernals almost don't have any mechanical units. Now, yeah, I don't think they have a single mechanical unit yet, but you know, so they obviously wouldn't want to go and take the anti-bio creep camps, but if it gave a lot of resources, maybe they do. I don't know. I think there's a lot of room to play with creeps, and I'm really excited to see where Frost Giant takes it. But yeah, there's plenty of tools to go around. And I remember hearing in the interview with Tim Campbell that he was saying that there's no shortage of ideas. It's just a matter of like having enough manpower to put those cool ideas, like every cool idea that they want, into the game. They're still a relatively small studio, so it's I love seeing medtechs out here. Okay, that's another thing. So in the in one of the art, in some of the splash art, like this medtech, that's not a person, like that's not a person's arms that are inside of the medtech. Like the medtech has a cockpit, and it's like it's a mech that's being piloted. I think that's why it's like partially mechanical, is because it's a mech. But it's still biological because there's enough of a person in there that it count, like there's enough of a percentage. Oh no! Okay, the V5 rocket launcher is out. All right, the Vision camp was captured in time, but I think, actually, I think this is a fight that Ghost wants to take. Here we go. Out on the map. You don't want this fight to happen closer to home, just because you don't want that AoE to be hitting your structures as well, or your workers. V5 rocket launcher does finally go down, but a beautiful Nightfall infestation happens on all these Lancers, but there's just not enough Infernal to go around. That Weaver needs to go home. That Weaver needs to go home. Yeah, you don't have the DPS to be killing off these, to be killing off the Vulcans. Okay, that's the entire Infernal army cleaned up. Where's the BK lab over here? Holy barracks! Alright, Ghost, we get it. You like bio. We get it, dude. But I was gonna say, so the medtech is great in biomech, in honestly every comp, but it really shines once you start giving it the adept and the mastery training. Oh, that's a cute little stasis drone that goes down on the Magmadon there, but there's another Magmadon that's backing it up, and it's still got the stomps going off. Gets decent connections on these Lancers, but everything can leave. No! Okay, 2 Lancers doing doing damage against that, as well as the Weaver. Oh man, beautiful connection on these Magmadons. Once again, getting a great surface area on those Lancers, but they know that they're slow, so they're just going to turn around. But all this bio needs upgrades. Upgrades, people. Upgrades. Yeah, upgrades for the Medtech so it can do Nano Swarm on the mechanical units, and upgrades for the Lancers so they get increased attack speed the more that they get hit. Yeah, kinetic redirection is such a cool upgrade. So what's the first one coming out? Quick Draw. Quick Draw for what? There's no Exos on the map. Actually, but he knows he's going to want Quick Draw just because of all the Exos he's going to make. Seeing those Magmadons out on the map is going to be really good for or seeing all those Magmadons on the map is going to be really good for Exos. So he might as well get ahead of it, start getting Quick Draw hustle while the Exos are being made. There's a Hedgehog, Lancer, Lancer, Lancer. Okay, well, kinetic redirection's still on the to-do list. It's not coming out anytime soon. So I'm surprised. I'm honestly a little bit surprised that there hasn't been a single imp that moves sideways into this corner to like these bases and this double Therium. Just because, I don't know, if you're on Furious Resolve and you don't get a cross spawn, you get an adjacent spawn. It's almost a free expansion if you go to where your opponent is farthest away from. Like, okay, so right now Ghost is going to investigate this corner of the map, and he would. Okay, in his defense, I am wrong in this situation, and he would have discovered a base there, but now that puts his army between, or that puts the Infernal Army between his army and his base. So if the Infernal Army was big enough and scary enough, he'd be able to, like, the Infernal Army would just be able to march onto his base, and there's not much he'd be able to do about it. No, so many stasis drones are going down to this Infernal Army. Yeah, and he's just going to wait until they thaw one by one before taking them out. Two Hellborn from a distance are starting to chip away at these, at the Vanguard Force, but I think the writing's on the wall here. The damage has kind of been done. A lot of Infest going down, which is going to do fantastic damage eventually, but it's not going to do it fast enough, I think. No, the Fell Hogs. Shroudstone goes down. Yeah, these Hellborn are going down, the Weavers are going down. We're within 10 seconds of seeing a GG, I would reckon. And Ghost coming forward with... Honestly, I'm really liking his composition. He's doing a great job of using these Sentinels as well. Making sure that these higher tier units, which are the bread and butter, honestly, of an Infernal Force, more so than the tier 1 units, which kind of feels weird to say that the core of the Infernal Army is more tier 2 than tier 1 units. Yeah, and he's just never going to let those Magmadons out. Those Magmadons are permanently in jail, and especially with all the energy that those Sentinels have. So Ghost takes out that natural. Oh, and he sees that there's still stuff over here. Another Nightfall gets so many units, gets the Sentinels as well. You know what? I wouldn't mind if Nightfall sapped away energy, just because it costs so much Animus. Make it a little bit more threatening for spellcasters, because we don't see enough anti-spellcaster tools here, but yeah. No, Fell Hogs. Alright, I think this is going to be the killing blow. Dr. Carlos isn't going down without a fight. He says, if you want this victory, you're going to have to clutch it. You're going to have to pry it from my cold, dead fingers. A couple of Shadow Flyers do get out and do connect with the Sentinels, but it's not going to be enough. I've never heard that death noise before. But yeah, Dr. Carlos is like, the win condition is you have to destroy all my buildings. Come and destroy all my buildings. Imps are all going down. Elder Shrine's going down. Another Nightfall goes down on all these Exos. And there it is. There's the end of the game. GG's, guys. I honestly thought we were going to see GG way earlier, but that was an excellent game. Thank you so much. What's up, guys? It's Frank with another GhostTL showcase game. We're going to see that both scouts meeting in the middle on top of the hill by the shadow demons, but they're going to run past each other. The information's more valuable than, killing off a single dog. So Ghost's scout is going to get into the main of Crofty here. He's going to see that gigantic moth. Honestly, if I saw a moth that was like 25, 30 feet long, I would probably soil myself. But he's going to see that it is barracks and a habitat going down first. And Crofty, meanwhile, sees a barracks going down, still double checks the corner expansion to make sure that there isn't an expansion going down first. This is another one of those maps. It's not a 4-player map, but the pocket expansion is still pretty free. And I like that. I like that not only are you basically given more resources, but, oh, that's really cool. I never noticed that. The bobs, when they run by and they have their luminite, the reflection not only shows up on the building, but there's reflection on the pet as well. That's a really cool lighting effect. I never noticed that before. Anyway, enough about lighting effects. I pay way too much attention to those little details. 2 Lancers pop out from our boy Ghost. And I'd be willing to bet he wants that central vision camp. This is one of those maps, or I would say this is the King of the Hill map, where if you control the center vision camp, you have quite a bit of power. It gives you a lot of maneuverability to know when your opponent is going to be taking one of the Luminite camps, and you can go down there and snipe it, or even if you take the Luminite camps yourself, you get good vision of when your opponent's going to try and steal it from you. So holding on to that central high ground is pretty essential. Oh no, more things is better than less things. 2 lances and a dog, or 3 lances and a dog is better than 2 lancers by a lot. By exactly 1 lancer and a dog. He's still going to come through and get a lot of the AoE damage done to these bobs. And the overcharge just wears off, but one of the lancers is done. One of the lancers goes down. Is the lancer going to be able to get more AoE shots? He is. I don't think he killed any bobs, though. He just weakened a ton of them. Okay, but we see more lancers trickling in. I think this is the wrong move, though. With the hedgehog out, he can just kite these lancers forever. And these lancers taking damage. Yeah, he knows what the army composition is inside of Crofty's base. I think trying to shove his way into the base. Well, actually, it did kind of work for him last time. If these lancers can get great connections. Oh, another Bob overcharge goes down, but these lancers are going to get good AoE damage done. But there's 2 hedgehogs out on the map. They're going to be doing great anti-heavy damage, and he needs to do some Bob damage. Yeah, if he's just walking around in circles, that's just free damage that he takes. And there's another lancer that Ghost is just donating. No, reset. Put your rally somewhere else. Ghost, what are you doing? I wonder if this is just a practice game? No, this has to be ladder because it was from Untapped, right? Alright, well, Crofty's going up to tier 2. There we go. Ghost might have realized that his rally was set somewhere he didn't want it to be. Oh, Ghost, that's just so many units lost, and I don't think Crofty's lost a single lancer yet. Oh no, is he gonna get seen? No, I think he does actually get through there. And Crofty's getting ahead in orbital supply. I wonder why. She swallowed the fly. Perhaps she'll die. Okay, but we do have solar habs on these barracks. Oh, here comes the Vulcan. Okay, so sentry post is gonna be great. It's going to be great if you put a Bob in there and then use that to heal up the Vulcan, because you know this Vulcan's going to be the only thing that's going to be defending for a long time. Crofty should know that there's been a lot of resources that have just been absolutely lost trying to assault his base. Where's the aggro? Go and attack! Go and attack! You can do so much damage! Yeah, these hedgehogs are going to do quite a bit of damage against that Vulcan. There we go. There's the Bob. The repair-matic. Double repair-matic. And he is going to successfully scare off the Lancers and the Hedgehogs. I think the Hedgehogs could stand to... actually, no. That's a good pull-out. That's a good move to get them all to leave. just because like the Vulcan's going to shred the Hedgehogs, and the Hedgehogs are never going to be able to out DPS the healing that's going to be done by these two repair medics. So it's a good idea. Get on out of there. Actually, get the cabbage. Get the cat. No, Crofty, get the wrong one. There we go. There we go. I'm surprised that neither player's gone for an expansion yet. Oh, and there's no way of knowing if the if Crofty has gotten the Oreo upgrade, the orbital energy research, the Oreo upgrade. I don't know. Sio, thank you so much for coming by, and thank you again for the gift sub, man. It's very kind of you, very generous. All right. A couple of overcharge bobs are going to come down finally to the pocket expansion. They're going to throw down the command post as close as they possibly can, and I think that's perfectly orthogonal to the Luminite rock as well. And finally, this central vision camp is going to get taken. I think it's too powerful not to take. We heard Filibuster's thoughts on that. Whoa! So much AoE damage being done. No. Focus the hedgehogs. Yep, focus the hedgehogs. That's the smart play. Kind of caught each other unawares there. Both of them did. And now, building a repair-matic up here would be pretty crazy. But like I was saying before, we've heard Filibuster's opinions on this, that the center is just so crazy good. If you're playing as an Infernal, or even if you're an Infernal playing against the other factions, just if someone else has that central camp, it's pretty hard to take it away from them. But I'd be interested to see what the other players' opinions are of that central vision camp from players that play other factions. Okay, so we've got a defensive repair-matic as well as another. Oh, there's the shields up, and immediately no. I would say just leave. You're not gonna. Yeah, there's a repair-matic there. Okay, the two hedgehogs do go down. Yeah, but again, trying to do more damage than will get healed by that repair-matic is going to be quite troublesome. The AoE should help. He is doing damage to both the Vulcan and the repair-matic at once. Oh, stuns the Vulcan with a charge forward. I'd love to see that. But one of the Vulcans does go down. Countercharge happens, and the evac picks up the two Vulcans. But where are they going to get dropped off? Or are they just going to get held in reserve here? No! Why? Why? Okay. Yeah, time to go back home. Pick them up. Yeah, let the evac go all the way back home. What is this rally? No! And it was stunned forever. It decides to use its jump jets to get out of town. And it will get out of town. This is such a goofy game, back and forth. Okay, but Ghost still hasn't gone for the his pocket natural yet, which is kind of weird to me. I do like the use of the repair-matic just because it's just one Bob that's going to be whoa. Oh, is he pulling the boys? Are the boys going to come along for the ride to Narnia? No, they're not. I thought he was going to send the Bobs over with the Vulcans to kind of do a repair push. Looks like that's not going to happen. Come on, evac. Take a little bit of a stranger route. I don't know if the Hornet gives it away. That the Hornet might be a little bit too quick here, and if it starts attacking before the evac shows up, the defenses are going to show up and start defending the Hornet. Getting microed a ton. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and the evac does get spotted. But there's no anti-air here just yet. Alright, the evac picks up the two Vulcans, and now they're going to be doing all kinds of damage in the main. Oh, so much AoE damage, so many Bobs going down, but that's exactly what GhostTL needed. He's down a base, so he really needs to be focusing down his opponent's eco, just so he doesn't fall too far behind. Skymine gets dropped by Ghost. That's Ghost Skymine. Okay, can't pick it up while it's stunned. Picks it up. Return to base. Return to base. Woo! That is a very injured evac. If that evac had gone down with both of the Vulcans inside, that would have been bad news bears. Behind all that, Ghost did finally build his pocket natural. And yeah, it looks like the ecos have been more than evened up. It looks like Ghost is actually ahead for once. And I will say, it's not very often that we're 10 minutes into the game, almost 11 minutes into the game, and neither player has reached triple-digit supply just yet. Yeah, we're just... It's a very low supply game so far. Oh! But the winner fidget spinner is going to be able to scout this this expansion from Ghost. His third is going down here at the combo Therium Luminite. It's also interesting to me, I wish I could do statistical analysis on how many times the pocket base gets taken, because I don't think either player has scouted these pocket base or these corner bases, ninja bases. That's what I was trying to say. Words are difficult. It's just a lone Hornet that's going to try and square up against this against Ghost's Hornet, but it's going to RTB. It's going to repair up, and I think it's going to come back and try and cause more mischief. You know what? I need to keep an eye on Ghost's stuff. I want to say he already built the orbital energy upgrade. No, Crofty's still regenerating energy faster than Ghost is. There's another Vulcan drop. I think if he charges forward, he could stand to get a lot more of those bobs. No! Lost potential. And this is where you bring another evac full of bobs to repair your Vulcans so they can continue fighting. But I think Air Forces are going to be a little bit more important now, just because, look, there's no answer to these two Hornets. This evac needs to pick up the two Atlases or the two Vulcans and go home, or drop them right next to the bobs, or get back into the main. The bobs in the main aren't as important, I think. Oh no! Yeah, the opportunity's gone. That evac is going down no matter what. And there it goes. All the bobs in the main cleaned up though, and this Vulcan is just going to watch it all happen. Hornets finally clean up that last Vulcan, and now it's 3 Lancers trying to out DPS 2 medtechs that are healing each other. Ladies and gentlemen, Vanguard versus Vanguard on Ruination. What a weird game. Nice to see the Sky Mines are actually being used, though. You don't see those used all the time. And I think because both players are using Vulcans so much, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a big tech switch. Yeah, here's the 2 hangar bays going down. And it's going to be, I wonder if it's just going to be air versus air from now on. And maybe the Hedgehogs are going to make a comeback. Maybe the Hedgehogs are going to come back and deploy. But I want to say that Hornets are anti-light against ground. No, they're not. They just do flat damage against ground. But they're anti-light for air units, so they do counter each other. What is this? Do they have like a... Oh, they got hit by a Sky Mine. Oh, and the Sky Mine slows. I didn't know that. I should know that. And now I do know that. But, yeah, I think the RTB kind of mitigates most of that. So it's going to be 4 Hornets. Oh, and the preemptive... No! The preemptive Nano Swarm on the Hornets is really cool, too. I like seeing the... I like seeing when the medtechs are used as actual support spellcasters and not just, hey, we're at the front line, we'll heal things that are damaged. Like, throwing down a Nano Swarm before fight starts is, I think, both wise and, like, It's something that we don't see necessarily all the time. We see people throwing down Nanoswarm after something has already been damaged, but I think you want that as soon as possible. I really like this. It's interesting that he didn't get experience. I wonder why that Hornet didn't get experience from that. Man, Crofty, supply blocked at 70. He needs to build another habitat. There it is. He's got another habitat finally. And these Bobs, no, they weren't shift rallied over onto the Luminite Rock. No. All right, more RTB goes down. Oh, that's what's happening. The Medtechs have Nanoswarm on autocast. Okay, so Ghost knows that he's basically in control of the entire map. I wouldn't be sad if Ghost went and took these two Luminite camps, really get the eco domination that he has the opportunity to get right now. He's already on 3 bases against Crofty's. It is technically 2, but with the saturation, okay, it is like 1.5, 1 1/3. But yeah, I think Ghost could really jump ahead right now. Yeah, there's another expansion. Oh, is this one fully, not fully saturated just yet, but yeah, 4 bases to Crofty's 2. And I think if he takes this Luminite camp, he could get even further ahead. Yep, here it comes. Okay, but that just means that Ghost, now floating 1200, needs to spend. Might as well max out your army. I think he knows that he's got a much better eco. So don't float as many resources. Dump as much as you can into production structures. And yeah, see, this is what I mean. Okay, so because Ghost has this central vision camp, he can see that that there's Hornets over here taking his Luminite camp, and I think he should go back and take it, because even one Luminite camp generates quite a bit of resources. But how is he going to take care of the Sky Mines is the next question. Is he just, don't fly your Hornets into them, please. Okay, he is attacking them. And takes his Luminite camp back. Ghost going up to almost 200 supply to Crofty's 101. And he's still floating so much Luminite. Just throw down as many habitats, as many hangar bays, like, just build. Build. Or is this Therium patch almost dead? No, it's not dead, but 9 workers is way too many. There we go. Throwing down a scrapyard right next to this double Therium. I love to see it. Alright, Ghost. Smart. Going for the 3rd. Gonna check and see if there's a 3rd. Doesn't see anything mining off of this Therium, so realize that there's no 3rd there, but does see that there's a lot of Hornets over here at his 3rd. And needs to turn around and go home and get there ASAP. This, the double repair medics doing what they can to keep the Bobs healed up, and so many RTBs, but he lost so many Hornets on the way back home. Crofty, GG's. We didn't get to see a bombing run. Womp womp. But yeah, GG's. On to the next game. Alright guys, here we are with another game for the GhostTL showcase on Furious Resolve. And normally I start the game a little bit later, but Ghost threw down, you can't see it, but he threw down a GLHF ping on his, yeah, he threw down a ping on his own base, so now his opponent doesn't have to scout out for where Ghost's main is. I appreciate the GLHF emotes, and I appreciate the emote wheel, and you know, you can kind of say things through the emote wheel without having to type it all out. And it frees up both hands. Or it frees up your mouse hand, so you don't have to type out GLHF. But yeah, just telegraphing where you're at is maybe one of the things you don't want to do on one of the 4-player maps. But Doesn't matter. The game's going to go on. Ghost going for the expand first, and his celestial opponent, you, which is always fun. I'm going to start saying you is, and my eyes are going to twitch every time I say you is building an array. It is pain. It is actually painful to say those words out loud. Okay, so Ghost is going to go finally find his opponent in the upper left. And it looks like they're spawned horizontally from one another, which normally wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I think because Ghost is further away from the health camp right now, that's actually going to be a huge deal for him. We do see, how's the saturation? It's half saturated there on his natural. He's continuing to pump out bobs. I think he's comfortable pumping out a couple more bobs just because, oh. Alright. Throwing down a creation chamber right in the face of the scout there is interesting. But I guess it makes sense. Like, you don't want to, you don't want your Argents to have to walk too far to get to that dog that's pecking away at your power bank. Okay. Yep, Scout's gonna run away and go get a cabbage, presumably. There's the first Argent coming out. Nothing in the main really, but we do see another prism. It's finished up and it's gonna go modify this array so it can be fully saturated. Second creation chamber goes down. Okay. Again, here's it's different this time around, and I'm still wondering if this is matchup dependent. Do the so when Ghost spawned in the lower right, he put both of his barracks on one side, on the distant side of where his opponent spawned. So imagine instead of a barracks here, it would be a barracks here, and the opening was on this side. And I was asking at large, like, is there a strategy, or is there like a decision that goes into where you build the barracks and where you want to make that choke at? Oh man. Okay, so a bunch of Lancers and another Scout come in. They force a Sovereign's Watch to go down, but he immediately throws down his shields up on the Lancer that was getting Sovereign's Watched. This is just a travesty for the English language. You throws down a Sovereign's Watch. You threw down a Sovereign's Watch. I hate speaking now. This is so painful. Okay, but Ghost is gonna go back and start creeping around the map. Alright, we see the telegraphed attacks kind of go in all directions. Not gonna lose any Lancers, which is fine, but I think Ghost still needs to go get the health camp for some of that passive regen. These high health units really benefit quite a bit from that health regen. Has anyone gotten this one? No, but the Argents are just finishing up. They're going to get the health camp, possibly. There we go. It's also interesting that we briefly saw in the meta that players would kill the creeps at a camp, but they wouldn't actually grab the camp. No, another Sov Watch goes down. Is it going to kill the Lancer before the array goes down? Nope, the array gets popped. But so many of these Lancers are so low on health that I don't know that I would want to be fighting into an Argent Ball with that many injured Lancers. Another Sovereign's Watch gets popped, but there's so much energy available that it just doesn't matter. Oh, get your Lancers out of there. Nope, yeah, the Lancers are going to get absolutely obliterated. Or are they? No, the Argents aren't turning and fighting as soon as they should be. And they're all low on power for some reason. But yeah, the Argent Ball is just too big. Everything is going to go down here. Everything should go down anyway. No way. Are Lancers actually that tanky? That's absurd. Okay. So this is what? That's 15, 16, 17 Argents? But the non-stop pressure from Ghost. Ghost says, you know what? I like my rally points being closer to my opponent. And it pays off. He throws you into yellow power. I hate this. Oh man. If you're watching, I need to know if you did that on purpose, just to trip people up. a chicken's going to come along for the celestial aggression, and there's been a lot of recharge happening here for our celestial player, but maybe it was a few charge shots that go down on one of those lancers, so maybe they won't be using charge shots on the barracks. But the Argents just aren't engaging for some reason. And yeah, here we go. This is the scary part. Oh, is that... Okay, the Saber does get taken out. Now the Hedgehogs, I would imagine you would want your Bobs building a repair-matic back here, so your Hedgehogs can kite, go back repair, kite, go back and repair. Oh, and there's a Saber coming up. So it's a Saber and, what is that, 5, 10, 11, 12 Argents. That's quite a bit of firepower for four Hedgehogs to handle. And even if they can kite, they can only kite into the natural before they're out of space to run. Man, the quadruple solared mech bay. Look at that build speed. That's pretty insane. You know what? That'd be another, like, Frost Giant, if you're watching. Oh, here we go. If we could get a tooltip that shows exactly the percentage of the percentage increase. Like, I like seeing this buff here, but seeing the actual percentage that it's modifying would be really helpful, because I know that there's diminishing returns the more solar habitats that you put on a structure, but not knowing exactly what it is kind of like driving me up a wall, and I'm not going to do a percentage of a percentage on the fly as a caster. But anyway, Ghost decides to put the enemy between his army and his base, so that'll be kind of spicy if the Celestial army goes for some aggression here. And now the Celestial player knows where his army's at, because he can see on the minimap that the division camp was taken. And no, this is just way too much. It's way too much. You don't want to take this fight. Ghost, you gotta go play some D. Or actually no, if you're gonna, how does that axiom go? What's that wisdom go? If you're gonna lose a straight up fight, don't fight straight up. Go take smaller fights that you know that you can win, or go to a random array and like take out the array, because these Hedgehogs are really fast. Actually, I think I'd really like that. Use the array to or use the Hedgehogs to take out arrays, and then by the time the army gets there, you can already move on, and the damage is done. And yeah, maybe you gets back up to green power, and oh my god, the volleys from these from the Sabers and Argents are just insane. But yeah, I would say, like, you've got the speed. Go force your opponent to be out of position, and then go hit their eco, because Celestial eco just got absolutely hit with the nerf stick. So the bounce back for Celestial eco has been severely impacted. Another Sentinel again. I love, or Sentinel. Another Scanner goes down. We don't see enough scanner usage these days either. There we go. Oh, that's a lot of array, or that's a lot of Sabers. And now, oh, beautiful pincher attack here, but the Sabers are, one Saber is still up. And now with the Kree out on the map as well, they are going to be fast enough to, oh, what was that ping? Oh, that was a sweat. The sweaty spaghetti ping. No, Ghost is getting backed into a corner. He's not going to go into his natural. I think maybe he should have, though, and then that way he could have had his Bob repairing the his fleet of Hedgehogs. But it's kind of nice that he's drawing away some of the forces from his natural. But yeah, it's just not going to be enough. 5 Hedgehogs do not an army make. Yeah, the barracks is on fire. It's just a matter of time until the mech bay goes down. Once the mech bay goes down, that's it for mech production. We see all kinds of barracks over here. None of them have the solar arrays attached to them, though. Just a little unfortunate. But yeah, down goes the mech bay. There's the GG from Ghost. Ah, another one. Can't win them all, but appreciate the replays, man. GG's. GG's you. Hey guys, it's Frank with the last game for today's GhostTL showcase. And we're going to start off, here we are on Secluded Grove. Oh, I love that spicy pickoff with the Hexen grabbing the cabbage. He grabbed it a little early, but I think he knows that the dog could beat him to it. I think if he had infested the dog, that would have been even better. Because now Ghost's yeah, it has to run even further away. No, it probably wouldn't have died before it got the cabbage, but it would have if it just stayed there. Anyway, Hexen buys enough time for the shrine to go down. Iron Vault goes down ahead of that. It looks like that's the second Iron Vault to go down, so there's the first brute. And the brute's just going to walk on past the scout. The scout is the most determined dog on Earth, being a canine that is chewing on a building, which is always kind of funny. Okay, again! Alright. Ghost, you're in the chat right now. I need to know, whenever you have the opportunity to build your command post on the ramp, you do it, regardless of the fact that, okay, it's this Bob that's taking the super long route. Look, he has to walk all the way around to the backside of the Luminite Rock, which means it's, you're losing some efficiency there, but you're also, like, you have the sickest body block, or you have the sickest SimCity for the ramp ever. I don't know, I've just never seen someone do this before, and it's really cool and really wacky, but is it just straight up better, or is this something that you're experimenting with? Also, for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, like, I'd be really curious to know what your thoughts are as well. Oh, this one Lancer! Okay, if the Lancer can play Ring Around the Rosie with that sentry post, it'll be golden. Alright, so the sentry post goes down. It is going to be able to do some, it actually does some pretty significant damage. The Gauss autocannon does. 22 damage is nothing to sneeze at. But it looks like there's still a fiend inside of the main. And that injured Bob is not going to let him get away. Get back over here. Little one-legged, one-armed, one kneecap having ugly looking little... Look at... Oh, and we don't get to see the portraits in replay mode. It's too bad. Just gonna get the heel hug. Bop! Gives him the old rock'em sock'em. Okay, back down here though, Andreas is gonna be taking... Oh, that's right, this is the Andreas game. He's gonna be taking the health camp. Doesn't lose that brute, but he is gonna get kicked off here pretty soon. No! Fight! 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 You can take that brute! You can get a couple of brute kills! Oh no! And another fiend pops out. Great idea, by the way, on Andreas' part to use the skull to infest that Lancer just before it died for that extra fiend. Again, every single unit counts when you have these low unit number armies. So the extra DPS that these fiends can do is pretty useful. Meanwhile, back at the natural here, it seems like it's... Okay, we're almost completely saturated, not quite. But, yeah, okay, the double solared mech bay is down. We've got the first hedgehog out. We don't have any... Oh, this is a spicy one. I really hope that the next hedgehog doesn't get trapped right there. And a machine lab going down right in front of it. That's interesting. No mech... No rally point set for the barracks either. Also interesting. Alright, here comes Ghost to take the rest of his camps back. I don't know if they really needs the energy regen camp, but hey, it's denying energy regen for the opponent's Hexen, which is nice. And Andreas is already going up to 3 bases now, and a lot of production behind it as well. Ritual Chamber's almost done. I'll be curious to see if it's Plague Axes or Hexen Adept training first. Alright, so it is Plague Axes. So it looks like he's going to be leaning a little bit more into Gaunts now. But we see, is that the first Conclave to come out? It is. It does look like that's the first Conclave to come down. Here's here's Ghost's army, such as it is. It looks kind of small at the moment, but yeah, you really don't want to get surrounded. And as I say that, everything gets surrounded. But now these are all light units. That means these Lancers should be able to chew through just about everything and get fantastic AoE hits. But because they're surrounded, they're so surrounded that they're going to be taking quite a bit of DPS as well. The Fiends wisely surround the Hedgehog instead. And there's Ghost's entire army that kind of evaporates. He did get really good hits on those Fiends, though, while he was surrounded with the Lancer. I would almost say that the Lancer is one of those units that you want to have surrounded by Fiends. I forget what that I remember learning this in biology, that there's a concept where the larger something gets, the less surface area it has. So by that reasoning, it's like the law of like squared cubes or something like that. Anyway, when you get enough Lancers in a blob, they individually don't have as much surface area exposed to attack, and they're still doing AoE damage out in front of them. So yeah, getting surrounded, being surrounded is what a Lancer wants to do. But here comes a Harbinger with a pretty spooky drop. Plague Axes are done. Oh, and then Mr. Vulcan's going to dash on forward and say, "Nice to meet you, lightly armored units. It'd be a real shame if you got absolutely turned into Swiss cheese." And they are scared off. Another Vulcan comes out. Kind of making himself vulnerable to Spriggans at the moment, I think. I know that, yeah, they're just going to stare at each other here. Neither one can shoot at the other one. There we go. The sentry turret's going to get a couple of pecks on him. Oh, Vulcan drop against an Infernal player should be pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a drop. I've never seen a Vulcan drop, or any kind of drop really, used against an Infernal player, unless it was also by an Infernal player. But Andreas, man, Andreas must have been a Zerg player before, because he is expanding to absolutely every single base on his half of the map. You see the double Vulcan drop into the into what is it, the fourth? No, drop. There we go. Okay, wisely drops the two Vulcans to do what little damage they can before everything gets picked off. That would have been really sad if they were picked off by the Atlas, or by the evac going down, but nope, the evac managed to get him out. But this is still quite a bit. This is a scary amount of Infernal on the map, and my favorite silent co-caster, Luca D. Supply, is providing the best commentary that it can. This is such a supply disparity. I think if Andreas attacks right now, he could probably win. Doesn't want to, though. I think he's going to go for these resource camps instead. Yeah, it looks like that's where everything's starting to stage up here. And yeah, what do you do as Ghost? Like, you've got... Oh, Hornets! Hornets! Put a Bob in there. Put a Bob in there. Make it a Repair-matic. Yeah, a single Hedgehog isn't going to be enough to scare away those Gaunts. I think Andreas should have, like, stood there and fought, but... Okay, no, he decides that one Hedgehog is pretty scary for anti-air, so he's going to teleport his Harbinger home. And I want to say it was full of Argents, too. It was, or full of, not Argents, Gaunts. It was full of Gaunts, so everything gets away. Oh, like a Graven. Yes, that's so Graven. So it does fantastic anti-light damage. It's got a sticky bomb, which is really good against the Gaunts. I think if Ghost can keep on pumping out more Graven and start taking these straight up fights, because the Infernal Army is already so slow that, like, if it gets even slower, that's such a detriment. No, the Bobs start building a command post right in front of a bunch of fiends. You have to cancel. You have to cancel at this point. Now he doesn't have vision of it. Okay, it was still canceled. And the Graven's going to be out here, I think, one-shotting the, No, it doesn't one-shot the Fiend, but it really does. It's quite a bit of damage to them. That is so much Infernal. Hellborn. Do the Hellborn have more touch? They don't. Okay. And there's quite a few Hexen as well. I wonder if he already got, you know what, that's what I get for selecting buildings that aren't... There we go, there's the Mastery training. So Miasma's come online now, which is pretty spooky. Oh no, this is just going to be... I'm worried. Yeah, and rightly so. Andreas is up by 130 supply. That's quite a bit. It's quite a bit. Alright, so he's just going to keep on derping around there, and all these Bobs are building sentry post, sentry post, sentry post. I'm wondering if he is anticipating, like, I think he's anticipating attack on his third just because it's the freshest base that isn't this one. He might just be straight up expecting to lose this one. Yeah, yeah. I think if he... Oh no, they didn't. They still didn't break through. That's so silly. Okay. I command you to slow. Pop, pop, pop. That's interesting that the different goo bombs were the different team colors. They weren't all red. I wonder if that's just because once the goo bomb lands on an opponent, if it changes team color. Okay, so the command post does finish. There's no way of canceling it now that it's here. Oh no, and these Hellborn doing that bonus to structure are just they're gonna be able to melt through this command post. They need to get range first though. Yeah, Weaver takes care of the yeah, that is exactly what it is. When Goo Bomb lands on the opponent, it takes on the indicator takes on the color of that opponent's team color. But if it lands on the ground, it turns on the Graven's team color. Alright, the Gravens dash out of there. Yeah, we do have... No, look, yeah, these are different team colors. What is the... I don't know. You know what? I give up. Okay. Oh, global Shroud spell goes down. Just to burn a bunch of the, I think that's because he's not anticipating getting it. Oh, no, what is this? Is this the PM Miasma? What is this? Andreas, come on, man. That's cold. That's a little too spicy, my friend. No. Throwing down Miasmas absolutely for no reason. Alright, there's the GG from Ghost, and that'll be it for the Ghost Showcase. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out. If you haven't seen, if you haven't watched Ghost does stream on YouTube. Or on Twitch, excuse me. The Twitch name for Ghost is ty_gaming_09. I'm going to put a link in the description. Give them a follow. They stream pretty consistently, so if you want to watch more games like this, give them a follow, give them a subscribe. It's always a good time. See you later, guys.